I'm Tom Teuber.
Wait, that was the point.
That was the point. I'm still Tom Teuber.
He gave a false point.
I was the founding program director of 98.7 WVMO. Before that, spent 11 years at 105.5 Triple M, which is where I first came into contact with Buzz Kemper from Audio for the Arts. Also here today, Audrey Martinovich,
Hello.
one of the co-owners of the studio. And we're going to talk about Audio for the Arts, which is where we are right now. But specifically, we have a celebration. You said there would be cake. There's no cake.
I know. We lied about the cake.
It's the first anniversary this month of the Acoustic Moose.
Yeah.
It sure is.
And we will explain what that all is. But I want to talk to Buzz for a little bit because we've known each other for a very long time.
We have.
In fact, this reminds me of our first collaboration, which was Mad City Live.
Yes.
We carried that on 105.5 Triple M for however many years.
Yeah, it was a few years. Yeah.
And I remember some great historic performances. Luther Allison at the Barrymore Theater is probably at the top of that list.
Yeah.
Dar Williams does a great song we play every year at Thanksgiving called The Christians and the Pagans, which
Wonderful tune.
Audio for the Arts recorded at the Press House.
Yes.
I could go on, but give me a little bit of the history of the studio. How long has the studio been going?
So the studio, I guess it had a soft beginning around probably 1996 or 7 of, I was working at Wisconsin Public Radio at the time, and musicians started approaching me privately to say, hey, could you record my string quartet? Could you record my piano recital? Could you record? And what they were telling me, which it's great that, most people have to do research to find out what the market has too much of and not enough of if you're going to start a business. This was all done for me because these musicians came up to me and said, all the studios in Madison are either rock and roll or commercial production. Nobody knows what a viola is, and they look at like where do I plug in the DI, and so and so suddenly I thought, okay, I could do a little work on the side here, and so I started doing that kind of stuff, and I've always had an interest in live music, and Audio for the Arts had this soft beginning, like I said, over the course of about 4 years. It morphed from a gig every 2-3 weeks to suddenly I'm working 80 hours a week and something's got to give here. Mm-hmm. And so I did the sensible thing, which is public radio was giving me a good salary and great benefits and a 40-hour work week. And this was ridiculous and gave me none of the above. So I opted for this.
But you live to tell the tale, and you're still here.
I live to tell the tale. Yeah, exactly. And I want to just say briefly too that we both really appreciate you coming in to do this. But you and I do have a very long history, and I have always been impressed by your knowledge and integrity. I mean, you're just a good man, and so whenever you call me up and wanted to be involved with something with me or my company, with now our company with Mad City Live or now Acoustic Moose or anything with WVMO, I'm in. So thank you.
You're welcome. And now I'm sorry I didn't ask to borrow money from you.
I think I've got $1.42. I'll yeah.
He left the money-making job, remember?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly.
Forgive me. Audrey, how long have you been here?
I started here actually as an intern probably about 8 years ago now.
Okay.
Started helping out with, I think my first thing here was to label sound effects that were just named Audio 1, Audio 2, and so forth. Mm-hmm. So that was fun to listen to a lot of explosions kind of on day one. And from there, I started helping out with a lot of our remote recordings. So we do a lot in the studio, but we record choirs and orchestras and most of the time in a hall or a church. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth here anyway. And about 2.5 years ago, when Steve Gotcher left, the one of the former owners, I kind of moved into his position and started engineering full time here. And at the time, I was also the office manager and kind of graphic designer and accountant and all of the little things you need to do when you're a small business that have to get done. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Steve the sequel.
Yes, Steve 2.0.
And the recording industry is like so many other industries where it's always been a predominantly male activity. What made you interested in it?
Wait a minute, you're a woman?
I know. Cat's out of the bag.
You didn't put that on the application?
I mean, I've only worked with her for 5 or 6 years. I mean, give me time.
Right,
I'll figure
exactly.
these things out.
You'll learn. It's all right. It is a very male-dominated industry. Yeah, women, at the best estimate that I've heard, make up 5 to 7% of engineers and producers, and 24% of artists even. And most of those are solo artists and less as a group. So it is a really male-dominated industry. And that being said, here I haven't really experienced any negativity to that. I think it's actually kind of an advantage because I have, I feel like I connect on an emotional level with artists who come in here, and I'm usually the one who notices if someone needs a snack or if they're getting a little crabby and need some extra encouragement or something to get through the next hour of the session. But it is one of those things where sometimes people walk in and still think I'm the intern or but then I just say, well, I own the place too, so
Yeah.
Good for you.
thanks.
So when we started WVMO in 2015, the mantra was local, 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 local. And part of being a local radio station was to include local music. And the city of Monona was very generous, and they gave us a very nice space at City Hall to broadcast from. But we didn't really have the room to bring in a band. We didn't have the room to bring in musicians to play on the radio. And I remember calling you, Buzz, to say, hey, if we ever have a band, could we use your studio? And you said, sure. And I don't know if that influenced your decision at all to start this program, but tell us about the Acoustic Moose.
Yeah. So thank you. That was part of the impetus. Sometimes you get, and I know you've experienced this too, Audrey. You'll get nudges in a certain direction from a number of different places, and then you just suddenly realize that this is a thing we need to do. Now,
Right.
Steve Gotcher gets a lot of credit. He did a series. Of course, the real start to this whole idea was the Mad City Live thing, which was insane. We got to the point where we were recording, like Wisconsin bands, and it was great. But we got to the point where I started calling Ani DeFranco and Indigo Girls and Mary Chapin Carpenter, and they all said yes. And we recorded all those bands. It was such a great experience. Back then with Triple M. And so this series, it sort of has its roots there. It has roots in a thing that Steve Gotcher used to do called Surrounded by Reality, which was and sort of an avant-garde jazz thing that he did here with a small live audience. And we, and then, you had mentioned this, and I remember, you and I have talked about it, like, hey, we should do events here. And sometime we just decided, it sort of all came together between our collective minds, our hive minds, and we decided, okay, let's do a series out of here. We'll put the word acoustic in it, not because no one is allowed to plug anything in, but just because we wanted artists and audience alike to know that this is not a venue in which we're going to have a heavy metal power trio.
Right.
We would blow the windows out. So that's why the word acoustic. Why the word moose? Because of Chip up here on the wall. I don't know if he's in the shot. He's off camera. But there is a fake moose head up here, and maybe we can get a shot of it later. But for the audience, it's a stuffed fake moose head. No moose were harmed in the making of this video.
This moose.
Yeah, exactly. If Jody Monroe, if you're watching, my lovely ex-wife, she made that and gave it to me many years ago, and
now he has a
cherish it.
concert series.
And now he has a concert series. He grew up.
He did.
Right.
So my sister's boyfriend's brother has a band. When can they come in and play?
Well,
I give her the hard question.
I know. I mean, most of the artists who have been here to perform have either worked with us or we've seen them perform around town. So we have some kind of rapport and know that, that it's going to be a good experience, that they're really skilled and respectful musicians, and that they can, bring in a little bit of an audience too. That's, not necessarily a requirement. We're not going to be like, you have to be able to bring 50 people in here because we cannot fit 50 people in here.
That would be a trick.
How many can you fit?
We can fit about like 20, 25.
Yeah,
Okay.
20. Yeah,
I'd say like in this room where the action happens.
24 if everyone's showered.
Right. Yeah, in this room we can have the small audience and then a little spillover into the control room, but we don't let just anybody play. We got to kind of know you a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, I
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to Noah Gilfillan, who's running the
engineering.
video on this stuff. He's in there. Yeah,
That was him on the God mic, if
yeah,
you could
that
hear
was
him.
him. Do it again. There he is.
Beautiful.
So Noah is the gatekeeper for the series. So when your brother-in-law's cousin's pet's band wants to be on, they contact Noah, and then he'll look into a little bit. What do what is the band all about, and is it something that fits within what we're trying to do? And like WVMO, it's very, very local oriented. If a group that was coming through town wanted to do one, we would certainly welcome them. But
Right.
I would say it's 90% local artists.
Yeah,
And,
I think we've had two who are more like national. One is coming up on the 13th with Thalem McDonis.
Yeah.
And then we had Bill Miller
Bill
here
Miller,
a couple of months ago as well, and that was a fun show.
Yeah. So the program started about a year ago.
Yeah.
Streaming only.
Correct. And we also make an audio recording, and there's a deal we make with the band. And do you know what is the deal that we made? Because I'm only
remember
a
the deal.
co-owner. I don't know.
So if a band were to come in here and play, we let them keep any of the door money. So we don't take any percentage of that. And then we do record, and the recording is done for free. However, if they want us to mix it, we're happy to do so, and we charge a little bit of our normal rate for that. But it's kind of like getting a recording session for free, and we've had some of the artists use the door money. They just give it right to us and say, now make a mix out of this, and I want to release it as a CD. One Human Band did that, and his album's on iTunes now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, so the artist sets the door price and keeps 100% of it.
That's
Right.
very generous. That's a nice idea. Are they archived? Is there an on-demand component to this where somebody can go listen to the one from 3 months ago?
That do we?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
So
It's so funny. I don't know. I'm so funny.
What was your name again?
I'm just the janitor here. I have no idea. I'm just here for my good looks. She's the brains of the outfit,
geez.
clearly.
then we're all sunk. We do have some of the concerts up on Facebook, so you can go back and see some of them. And the reason I say some is because some of the artists have decided that they want to take and edit the videos, release them as individual things rather than a whole concert. Or we had one where just a weird internet glitch happened, and we're gonna upload, as like kind of a rebroadcast type of thing. But at some point, they will all be on YouTube, so hopefully that happens pretty soon. But
And
almost
almost all,
of them.
and almost all of them will be on WVMO. The only
Correct.
ones that,
That won't
won't,
be, like,
the
on
only ones
demand.
that won't make it to VMO is if the artist says we kind of underperformed and we'd rather, we'd rather not have that out there. So yeah. It's very rare, but it happens.
I think.
So you can stream it on Facebook and soon to come YouTube. You
YouTube.
can listen on 98.7 WVMO. How often are the broadcasts again?
The third
Once
Friday
a month.
of
Third,
the month.
Yep, third Friday of each month.
10 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I may actually also plug my own show. So we now produce 3 monthly programs for WVMO. One is the Acoustic Moose thing every third Friday of the month. On the first first Sunday of each month is my show, Sunday Afternoon Live with Buzz Kemper, and I also highlight local artists, and that's a ton of fun. And on the third Sunday of each month, in the same time slot, 3 p.m., we do a rebroadcast of Sunday Afternoon Live at the Chazen, which is a chamber music concert series done at the Chazen Museum of Art with first-class classical musicians. So if you like a little Mozart in with your Americana,
check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you on behalf of everyone involved with WVMO, thank you for doing all of those things. They all sound great.
Thank you. I mean,
yeah.
it's been such a treat, and just for the something that the viewers should know is that when Tom and Lindsay Wood Davis put this thing together, they did it so right that this little community station, first of all, and I'm not talking just about programming because there's a lot of good programming on the air, but sonically, I think it's the best sounding station in the state. I have not heard a station that sounds better than WVMO sonically, and these are engineers talking. And secondly, best major market radio station in the state. We won.
Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Yeah,
gave
from
that
the
award
Wisconsin.
this year. Yeah.
That is
it's
amazing.
amazing.
Like think of WTMJ and all the WIBA, all the big big city high power radio stations, and WVMO beat them all. So you guys did it right, and we are really proud to be in on it.
Absolutely.
When we started, we had no idea if it would work or not, or if it's like throwing a party and you're wondering if anybody's going to show up. But people responded, people listened. For 3 years running now, WVMO's won awards from the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, and this past year just stunned to get that best major market.
Yeah, and I guess I even won something. Will says I won something for like creative use of sound or something. I got to ask him.
I'm
more
not bragging,
details,
but there are so many I can't remember them all myself.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Yeah, good deal.
So when my sister's girlfriend's boyfriend's band wants to come be on the Acoustic Moose, give the contact information. How should they get in touch with you?
So the most direct thing is to email. You can use one of two emails. You can either use Noah, Noah, at audioforthearts.com, or the letters AFA, which stands for Audio for the Arts, at audioforthearts.com. The former goes to Noah directly. The latter goes to all of us, and so we'll all see it. And then, like I said, Noah is the gatekeeper, so he'll kind of figure out, if this is something we want to do, and then when will it fit in, and he'll take care of that, and then we jump on it. Our friend Bruce Johnson, who's a longtime videographer, formerly with Wisconsin Public Television, now with the Freedom from Religion Foundation, he comes in normally and directs. And so, and when he can't, Noah does, and so these things they look terrific. I mean, we've got lights up in here, and we've got nice cameras, and we're trying to be like WVMO in the sense of do it right.
Yeah.
Audrey Martinovich, Buzz Kemper, thank you both, and thanks also to the Acoustic Moose.
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you, Tom.
All right, man.